Hello, welcome back to Unfinished Bride. We're going to have a conversation today to talk about what can rob a marriage of a love affair. There are several things that can rob a marriage of a love affair. We're going to discuss those things today. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Number 4, selfishness. When you get married, we are to become one. That is the number one deal with getting married, that you can no longer be selfish. If you are a selfish person and you were before getting married, or you are and you're contemplating on getting married, I suggest that you go before the Lord. Ask Him to remove selfishness out of your life. Put yourself before God on a regular basis, because selfishness is not a part of marriage. It can't be. And so you have to practice on how not to be selfish. You have to give and serve. So that's one of the ways to overcome selfishness, is by serving each other, serving our spouses in the marriage, making sure that they are feeling appreciated and loved, making sure that they have the things that they need on a regular basis, making sure that it's not all about me and I'm not always victimizing myself and not considering my spouse when it comes up to what they want to do, what they desire to do, what movie they want to watch. Do they want to have some time away? Do they want to have some time to themselves? Should I go to the grocery store this time? Maybe I should pitch in and do a chore that they've been struggling with. Oh, I see my spouse being tired. What can I do to make their day better? That is a sign of an unselfish spouse. And when we are selfish in marriage, it will rob the love out of the marriage. And we don't want that. Number 5, distractions. That's distractions, whether it is physically, socially, emotionally, definitely electronically. What are we distracted by? Being distracted by others or even by ourselves. God says, what He has joined together, let no man put us under. So that means anything. No man, no woman, no electronic device, no kids, no nothing, no work. Don't let anything be a distraction in your marriage. When we're living in a time of electronics and technology, social media, all of these things are a source of distraction. Work can be a source of distraction. Not being able to cut it off and turn it off. Feeling like you don't have time to do anything outside of that. That can be a distraction. TV. We live in a time of Netflix. I love it. Watching movies, binge watching, all of these things, because it can be used as a form of escapism if we're not careful. Think about the things that you allow to distract you, just so that way you won't be close to your spouse. Think about it. Do you all the time find something for the kids to do, or something that you have to do for the kids? Or if this is a man is watching, does he always want to go play sports or basketball or hang out with the friends? Does he always play video games at certain times of the day? When it gets dark, when it's time for that alone time, attention and affection, do you pick up your phone and be on social media the whole night until you both are so tired and go to sleep? Be careful of those distractions a lot of times, because those things can rob you of the love affair that God has for you. Definitely be careful of social media. Don't allow that to be a source of distraction. If you are communicating with your spouse on a regular basis, and there have been some talks about social media activity being too often, or who you allow to be on social media with you, and it's been a source of distraction, I know you don't feel valued. I know you're not getting the things that you need emotionally, and you need to just have an scapegoat. You need something to distract you, to get your mind off of things, because you don't want to feel sad. You don't want to feel lonely. You don't want to get frustrated. things that people can often do when they don't want to confront or don't want to have certain conflict, what they'll do is begin to avoid each other. That's a form of distraction, because you're purposely putting those things ahead of your spouse or before your spouse, or to avoid connecting and reconnecting. That's a thing that can hurt a marriage in the long run. My suggestion is to make sure that you are communicating. Whatever it is, a lot of times when you're not forgiving, that's a source of your distraction, because I don't want to deal with this. Every time that I end up talking to them, it ends up in an argument. So I'll just avoid it, or it's not going to help anyway. I might as well do something else. But that's avoidance, and that only builds a greater gap between the two of you. So you should seek counseling. Seek a time where you can communicate and agree that, okay, if it feels like it's going to get out of hand, then we'll stop. Sometimes you have to bring a mediator in, a friend that you can trust. And sometimes it can be, if you're a better writer than you are a talker, sometimes some dialogues can go through text, email, whatever it takes in order for you to bridge that gap, talk about it, and stop allowing yourselves to be distracted. Because God does not desire for marriages to end in divorce. And a lot of divorces happen due to having distracted behavior, due to unforgiveness. And what that does is it just keeps you further and further apart. Years will go by and you'll figure out, we didn't really deal with a lot of things. I stopped liking you or stopped having love for you a long time ago because we avoided each other. We had all kinds of distractions and we did not deal with one another. We were dealing with empty nest syndrome, and we were preparing for this years ago. And one of the reasons why is because we want to make sure that we were good. You hear people after 20 something years, they get a divorce, and you're wondering why that happens. It's because of all of the distractions of kids. A lot of times we can use those elements in our home and the people in our home as reasons to not deal with one another. And then when we are left alone, it's only us. There's no escapism. Then everything, the mirror is there. We're looking at one another and we see the same reflection. How do we deal with this? What can we do to make sure that we are maintaining love and not using distraction as a way to avoid it?
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and comment below.